There's a crime wave that's sweeping the nation, or more accurately, that's sweeping democratically run cities. And this is kind of messing things up for the holidays. We're seeing these mobs raiding places like Nordstrom's and other retailers. They smash the glass, they go in, they just loot the store. These are called smash and grabs, and they're occurring all over the place. California, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, New York, Los Angeles. In fact, an LA police detective is quoted in the Washington Examiner, and he says, hey, LA is now unsafe for tourists. Don't come to Los Angeles. And he blames progressive district attorneys for, quote, advocating for criminals. So this is a moment of candor about why this is going on. Dominic DeLuca is the head of a skateboard shop on Melrose Avenue in LA. He goes, I've never seen anything like this in the past 2 years. I've been broken into 3 times. So this is something that is now becoming chronic. And, the problem isn't just stolen toys or stolen goods. There's a lot of violence that goes on here. A lot of people are injured and a lot of people are killed. In Philadelphia this year, 521 homicides. And that is the all-time record. It even exceeds the number of homicides in 1991, which was kind of a peak year. And think about it, that was almost 3 decades ago. In Los Angeles, highly publicized 81-year-old woman, Jacqueline Avant, kind of a philanthropist. She's the wife of the music legend Clarence Avant. A home invasion in her Beverly Hills home. And absolutely horrific. Homicides in Los Angeles are up 46.7%. Shooting victims are up 51.4%. Now, the New York Times, which is not normally honest about these kinds of things, says that the criminals have, quote, a sense of impunity. And they go on to make a subtle point, which is that all of this really started with the George Floyd protests. The New York Times actually notices that when this happened initially, a lot of the retailers whose stores were being robbed, Nordstrom, Target, Marc Jacobs, refused to blame the rioters, refused to blame the looters. In fact, they said the opposite. Here's Marc Jacobs tweeting on Instagram, quote, never, in all caps, never let them convince you that broken glass or property is violence. He goes, property can be replaced, human lives cannot. It's almost like he's inviting people to rob his store, saying it's really no big deal. And now, of course, these same retailers are trying to kind of put the genie back in the bottle. Oh, this crime is horrible. It's ruining our Christmas. It's making it difficult for us. We have to board up our stores. We've got to hire extra security. Well, yes, but you're the one who condoned it. You're the one who... So the point the New York Times is making is that these retailers who tried to sort of be politically correct, they wanted to be woke in the wake of George Floyd, they're now reaping a harvest of the emboldening of the criminal class, which now sort of can't be subdued. The Los Angeles Times makes the point that much of the violence, which initially started in poorer communities, affected people, the homeless, rundown neighborhoods where there's not so much security, is now making its way into wealthier enclaves. And so you've got all these wealthy people now in San Francisco, in LA, and they're like, oh man, this is making our lives miserable suddenly. But, remember, these are the same people, many of them, who voted for these DAs, who voted for these policies. The Biden administration, by the way, is in complete denial. Jen Psaki keeps trying to blame the crime wave on the pandemic. And as if to say that because there's a pandemic, it's sort of excusable. Governor Newsom, quote, the level of organized retail theft we're seeing is simply unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Doesn't say what he's going to do about it. Businesses and customers should feel safe during their holiday shopping. This is the kind of vapid moralizing we've come to expect from these people. They take no action. They don't know what to do, or they're unwilling to do it. By the way, when Newsom was having this press conference, the progressive DA, the left-winger who's been actually letting all the criminals out on the street, was nowhere to be seen, probably consorting with the criminals themselves. And AOC thinks the whole thing is a myth. She recently said, quote, a lot of these allegations of organized retail theft are not actually panning out. I don't know if she means that there are attempted robberies that aren't being successful. But when she said this comment, you see all kinds of people, heads of retail associations and so on, basically saying this is absolute nonsense. Even Walgreens put out a statement saying, quote, organized retail crime is one of the top challenges facing the company. In other words, it's actually putting these companies now at risk. And as I say, this is a crime wave that's been occurring not just in one place, not just here or there, but really everywhere where you have Democrats in control.